Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. We're pushing to 10,000 subscribers. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, and thank you for all the support. Today we have Trent from the Miami Heat Network. Now, Trent, there's a lot of rumors going on around Kevin Durant, Morant, Kawhi, Giannis. Me personally, and my channel already knows how I feel. I am not going to overpay for Giannis and pretty much give up everything that we have: Khalil Ware, Caspers, all our first, second round picks, potentially Jaime, Jovic. So you're going to give up everything just to get Giannis. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, the Miami Heat were able to get role players around the big three. And please correct me like if I'm wrong, Trent. Those days are over where you can get a Shane Battier and a Birdman and a Rashad Lewis on a vet minimum. Those days are over. Why? Because if we were able to do that, why didn't we do that in the Jimmy Butler era? Why did we not get better high-level role players? But instead, we're probably going to have to settle for a bunch of undrafteds around Giannis, which I would rather keep our young core how it is. We have the 13th overall pick in a loaded draft. Also, too, like I said, just the overall potential of our team. If you're going to go for an older guy, I'm going to look more over to Kawhi only because he's going to be a lot cheaper than going after Giannis. But how do you feel about all these different stars possibly being available? I mean, even Donovan Mitchell tonight, if he loses tonight, who knows? He could leave Cleveland.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because, we've been pushing to get a star player because that's what we need. But the whole Giannis situation just kind of, rubbed me off the wrong way in the sense of, how he been moving and how he acts. And, if he really wanted to play for the Miami Heat, the trade would have been happened. It's just really just that simple. But he's, playing both sides. He's, in the media, no, I want to stay the Bucks for forever. And then his agent, he's talking to his agent on the private, yeah, trade me, I don't want to be here. He changes his mind all the time. And then not only that, his injury concerns are a problem. He's been injured all year. And even when he is healthy, he's a good basketball player, don't get me wrong, but is it going to be a difference Giannis coming to Miami if we have to trade our whole team? It's not, right? I mean, I think what they're going to envision is, okay, maybe they trade Tyler, but then Tyler will be part of the Giannis trade. So I don't know. I don't see it. I don't want to do the Giannis trade. But what they're going to do is they're going to re-sign Norman Powell. They're going to bring in Giannis. And then their big three is Norman Powell, Giannis, and Bam, which is just not good enough. And then, depending what young players you have to give up, because that's the big thing. And it's funny because all Heat fans would be like, yo, let's trade Jovic. And it's well, we want to trade him because he's terrible. You don't think the other teams in the league don't see that he's terrible? Right? You can't just give up trash for trash. That's not how, trash for a luxury. Put Jovic a part of Giannis. You can't do that. That's not how NBA works. So, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Giannis. I think we can agree on that. But I do think a change will happen, especially missing the playoffs. Heat are not used to that. They're used to at least making the playoffs. They're used to competing. And the fact that they got embarrassed, couldn't even get out the play-in. I just don't know what star player. I actually, on the same train with you, I actually want Kawhi Leonard more than anything. And some people are upset about it, and I'm just like, dude, Kawhi Leonard had one of his better years last year with the Clippers. He was playing amazing basketball, and I truly think he can help this team. He's actually a number one option. When you look at the Miami Heat, what are they missing? A number one option. He can be a number one option. Obviously, the health is a concern, but every single star player that will be available that we want has health concern. So does Anthony Davis. So does Morant. So does Giannis. Donovan Mitchell has been terrible in the postseason. Terrible. So all the options that we want to look at all have pros and cons with it. That's just how star players are. And then for people that are saying, yo, let's go to the draft, that's cool and all, right? But the draft isn't doing nothing for us now. It's cool to develop. It's cool to do that. But I don't see the front office doing that at all.
Well, the thing is, though, you have to look. Okay, let's start off with Norman Powell. Why are we going to re-sign Norman Powell? Now, I understand a lot of people would say, oh, well, we want Giannis and Bam. Cool. And then you're going to re-sign Norman Powell. Now, he's really the only true shooter. I mean, don't get me wrong. Defensively, this Miami Heat team would be phenomenal because you have guys like, Davion, Pella Larson, Bam, Giannis. So you're going to have a great defensive starting lineup. But the biggest thing is that your two best players, they can't shoot. So now when they clog the paint on you, and yeah, Bam Adebayo has improved with his overall shooting, especially with the three ball, but you're saying that your two best players can't shoot? And I know people will say, oh, but we had Jimmy. He couldn't really shoot. No. Jimmy shot the ball in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So for a guy who's not a great shooter, he shot the ball pretty well every single time we had all of our playoff runs. That was proven. We already know Giannis and Bam can't shoot. So once again, I understand why people want them. I'm not going to overpay. Same thing with Kawhi. I'm not going to overpay for him. It's like what you said, all the injury concerns and everything like that. Plus, we got to pay these guys. Giannis, he's going to want a big contract extension. I'm sure. I mean, we don't know how long Kawhi wants to play. Maybe at least 2-3 years more. So you're going to have to re-sign him. His contract is almost up. So there's just a lot of different things, going on. But how do you feel about John Morant? I know a lot of people, they're 50-50 on him. I mean, he can't shoot either. And if I had to like if I had to choose out of the three, Tyler, Ja, or Powell, I am going with Tyler only because he's already under contract and he's younger. I think him and Norman Powell are like, I know how you feel about Tyler, but I am not going to re-sign Norman Powell when he disappeared after the All-Star break.
Yeah, the logic I'm looking at is more just they're going to trade Tyler a part of any type of trade because Tyler will be gone. And so they're going to need that shooting guard. Do I want Norman Powell back? I don't. But I'm just looking at their side of it. It's like, well, if we let go of Tyler and then let go of Norman Powell, it's like, okay, so who's our shooting guard now? Right? Like, are you banking on Pallel Larson to be that? Like, who's really, okay, now who's the backup of that? So it gets really, really dicey when you let go of both. That's kind of how I look at it for the front office. Now, me personally, a lot of people don't agree with me, and that's fine. I'm a big Ja Morant fan. I obviously think he hasn't played up to his standards in the last couple of seasons. I just think a new home, a new coaching staff would change everything. It's been toxic, right? Like, you got to realize he lost all his buddies, all his friends, and didn't have the best, relationship with his coach. Now, is that an excuse to play bad? No, it's not. But we're all human at the end of the day, and it's a mental thing. Like, bro, like, we all work jobs, and you lose your buddy that you're really, really close with. You see him every day. It hurt. It sucks. Like, damn, that's my friend, right? He lost Desmond Bain. They lost Jaren Jackson Jr., right? I mean, like, those Dylan Brooks. That was and he was the culture changer over there. So he lost all his friends and buddies and stuff. And so I think that played a part. I think the injuries played a part. And then just all the outside stuff that was playing a thing. Trust me, everybody was in there. Everybody wanted Ja done. Don't like during that time, everybody, right? So that all plays a role, and I really just think a new time, a new place, new coaching staff. I think he can actually thrive and play well. So I'm actually fine with John Morant, and the reason why I'm fine with it is because he's out of all these players, he's probably the player that you could trade not that much and still keep your team intact. And also, this team needs a true legit point guard. I don't think KJ's legitimate ready. You're hoping that he takes that next step, but I don't think he's ready yet. And then Davion he's good, but he's not a legitimate point guard. We've seen it throughout the season and stuff. So I think adding a Ja Morant would only make life easier for whoever's on this roster because we don't know who's going to be on this roster, but Bam. That's the truth, right? Like, Bam, he's probably the one that's untouchable. Then all the young guys, you don't know who's going, who's coming. You don't know what's going on with Wiggs, Norm, Tyler. So there's a lot of players that you just don't know who's going to be here. So me personally, I'm going with Ja. But I know a lot of people won't like that. But
it just comes down to who's on the roster. It's like what you said, because you can't have three guys that can't shoot, Ja, Bam, and Giannis. Don't get me wrong; it sounds good on paper, but there's a very big problem when all three of them operate within the same area. Obviously, we have a coach where he's dealt with a similar situation with the big three, where you have three ball dominant guys. But I think it comes down to who you're going to go after. And if it's me, the only reason why I'm choosing Kawhi, it's a better fit. You can keep Khalil Ware. You could possibly keep your 13th overall pick for this, upcoming season. So if there's one guy, I'm going Kawhi. Don't get me wrong, though. I would love Ja Morant on this team because you're right. A lot of people looked over that. They traded the whole team and they fired the coach for absolutely no reason. They got rid of the coach and then they got rid of all his mans are gone. Every last one of them. So obviously, now did he handle it properly? No, absolutely not. He didn't handle it properly because, to be honest, they stood next to him and they didn't fire him. They didn't really hammer him while he was going through all his off the court issues. But now with LeBron James, there's a lot of different speculation that if LeBron James supposedly he feels disrespected by the Lakers, and the Lakers are pretty much tired of him in clutch, which every single team he goes on, the franchise eventually gets tired of Clutch and how he operates and the stuff behind the scenes that we don't really see. But would you welcome LeBron James back to Miami? There's a bunch of mock drafts saying that he could come back on the MLE, join Giannis, join Bam. Obviously, that's some 2K stuff. But how do you feel about possibly LeBron James coming back to Miami? I don't think he should have ever left, in my opinion. But
Nah, that'll never happen. I honestly haven't even made a video on it because it's just so foolish to talk about LeBron coming to Miami. Like, we have a better chance of landing Giannis than LeBron ever coming back to Miami. I really think it comes to Lakers or just retirement. Like, he's at the point of his career where, like, you don't want to move around again, right? Like, he's set in stone. He got his family, his kids. Is like, he don't want to do all that. So, anything could happen. The Lakers already welcome him back. I think he's gonna return. They're gonna make some moves. He's not going to Miami at all. Like, and that mid-level exception that you did bring up it needs to be used the right way, because that's where we find our role players, and that's how you build a team. Like, a player in mind that I really want, honestly, I had Sumo. I mean, he was amazing for the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? He's a combo guard, point guard, shooting guard who can shoot the ball, be playmaking ability. Like, those are the type of players. Peyton Watson. Those are the guys that you bring to your team, right? Pat Riley in his presser talked about size and length. Well, Peyton Watson does bring that. So hopefully they're smart with their mid-level exception, and then hopefully they could find a way to, like, improve this team. Because, like, when you look at the teams that are left, besides the New York Knicks, they all have depth. Look, Oklahoma City Thunder, the deepest team. San Antonio Spurs, they're deep as hell, right? The New York Knicks, they run a 6-7 rotation, but they have one of the best starting lineups in the league, right? And we have to give them that credit. They're good. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. It is what it is, right? Not the biggest fan of them, but they're in the ECF. We didn't make the playoffs. And then you look at Game 7 for the Cavs and Pistons, right? Like, they have legit number ones. K's the number one. The Cavs, I don't think they have a number one over there, truly. But I have Detroit winning anyways today, so you just got to look at the playoff landscape, how the NBA teams are worked, and that's how you win games.
But see, you made a very good point. That's why I'm not in favor of going all in for Giannis, because you're giving away. It's like what you said: your depth, your versatility. How you win a championship now. You need a good 7 guys, 8 guys who know their roles, who can give you two-way ability, athleticism, size, versatility. That's how you win an NBA championship. This whole thing where you're gonna have a big 2, big 3, those days are over, man. That's not how you win a championship anymore. The past few teams, look at the Boston Celtics. They had one of the best starting fives ever too. Drew Holiday, Porzingis, Tatum, Brown, Derek White. That's how you win a championship. Look at OKC. Look at the Spurs with Wemby. They have Castle. They have Harper. They have Fox. They have legitimately 3 of the best guards in the NBA all on their roster. So that to me. If it's me, Trent, like I said before, we keep this team how it is. You trade Wiggins. You do a sign and trade with Powell so that we don't lose him for nothing, and you get complementary pieces that's going to help us in the future. The problem is that we're more young than we are old. And to be honest with you, I'm fine. I don't want to win an NBA championship right now. I say that because we have a young team. It's going to take time to develop. We got to figure out, what are we doing with Tyler? We got to figure out, are we going to pay Jaime Jaquez Jr.? Think about it too. Same thing with Bam. Bam is getting older. He's almost going to be 30 years old. If he does not win a championship within the next 2 years, it's might as well you trade him to get the most value that you can for him.
Not to cut you off, Martel, but I actually think they give up Jaime in part of any type of deal if it's for Giannis, and I'm gonna tell you why. They keep talking about 2027 cap space, and they just do this all the time. Next season is gonna be 2028, 2029. Like, they this is what they do, right? But the Jaime extension's coming up, right? They don't want to pay Tyler. They're probably not going to pay Norman, right? You don't know what's going to happen with Wiggins. So they're going to let go of those guys, which I don't know how smart it is just for one guy. Like, if I'm being honest, if I'm doing a trade for Giannis, I need Bobby Portis. Now, the thing is, they don't want to take his money. They don't want to take that money back. And it'll probably be harder, and stuff will be complicated. They have to play a 3-team deal. But I need something in return. Like I don't know. Like, I think Gary Trent's on the team. He was awful. Give me another shooter. I need something. I just can't just take Giannis and you're taking 10 players from me and picks. Because it's just like, where's my shooters? Where's my depth? Where's this? Where's your point guard? You know what I mean? It's just like, give me something in return as well. Like Bobby Portis would be awesome. Can they afford that? I don't have this stuff on my screen right now. Probably not, but I'm just throwing stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like a Kawhi Leonard. Okay, you want to give me Kawhi Leonard? Yo, give me like a Derrick Jones Jr. or something. Give me a John Collins. Give me another piece that can help me as well. I think the second piece is the most important part. Of course, getting the star is excellent, but that second piece, right? You look at what's it called? Maybe Donovan Mitchell. Yo, I wouldn't mind Max Strus back. I mean, he been playing well in the postseason, right? Look at our two shooting guards, Martel. Max Strus and Duncan Robinson. There, one of them's heading to the Eastern Conference Finals tonight in a couple of hours, and they've both been playing well. Those are our two guards, and now they're gone. Now, don't mind you, a lot of people pushed Duncan off the team because he was playing bad, but it just shows you though, like losing these depth pieces, it hurts you. Because now it's like, what do we replace with Simone Fonteco, who was the terrible?
Yeah, like I said, there is more to just going after the star. But Trent, thank you again for coming on the show. Please let the people know where they can find your work.
Yeah, man, Miami Heat Network on YouTube. You know, we try to upload every single day, chasing that 10K. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. Y'all probably wondering where the hell I've been at, you know, but hopefully we can do more episodes.
Like, share, comment, subscribe as we continue to push to 10,000 subscribers.